What if I told you there are 9 simple psychological tricks that can make anyone completely obsessed with you? Not in a creepy way, but in a way that makes you absolutely magnetic and unforgettable. These aren't just random tips. These are science-backed psychological triggers that tap into the deepest parts of human behavior. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make people light up when they see you, remember every conversation, and actually look forward to spending time with you. But here's the warning. If you skip trick number 9, everything else becomes useless. It's the foundation that makes all the magic happen. So stick around, because your transformation starts right now. Trick number 1, turn your embarrassment into magnetism. Picture this scenario. You're walking into an important meeting, feeling confident, when suddenly you trip over absolutely nothing and stumble forward like you're doing some weird dance move. Everyone turns to look. Your face turns red. Time seems to freeze. Now, here's where most people completely blow it. They freeze up, mumble an apology, and spend the next 10 minutes replaying the moment in their head. But magnetic people? They do something completely different. They laugh loudly, immediately, and they say something like, "Well, I guess I just wanted to make a dramatic entrance. Did it work?" Here's the psychological secret. When you laugh at yourself first, you take complete control of the situation. You're showing everyone that you're so secure in yourself that a little stumble doesn't even faze you. This triggers massive respect because most people are terrified of looking foolish. The next time you spill coffee on your shirt, don't apologize awkwardly. Instead, look down and say, "Apparently, I'm pioneering a new fashion trend called coffee chic." Watch how people's entire energy shifts toward you. Trick number 2, the secret touch that bonds people to you. This trick is so powerful, it literally changes people's brain chemistry. It's called the laugh touch, and here's exactly how it works. When you're talking to someone and they start laughing at something you said, here's what you do. Very lightly touch their forearm or shoulder for just 1 to 2 seconds. That's it. But the effect is incredible. Here's the science. That brief, friendly touch releases oxytocin in their brain. Oxytocin is called the bonding hormone because it's the same chemical that makes mothers bond with their babies. When you combine laughter with touch, you're literally programming their brain to associate you with comfort, trust, and positive feelings. Imagine you're joking with a coworker and they burst out laughing. As they're laughing, you lightly tap their arm and say, "You're cracking me up." That simple gesture just created a deeper connection than most people make in entire conversations. The key is keeping it light and natural. Think friendly tap, not lingering grab. Master this technique, and you'll notice people naturally start seeking you out more often. Trick number 3, the exaggeration effect that makes you unforgettable. Boring people say they were tired. Magnetic people say they were so exhausted they could have been legally declared dead and nobody would have questioned it. Here's why exaggeration works like magic on the human brain. When you paint vivid, ridiculous pictures with your words, you activate the visual cortex in people's minds. They don't just hear your story, they see it, they feel it, and most importantly, they remember it. Instead of saying traffic was bad, try this. Traffic was so insane, I watched 3 different people age a full decade while we sat there. I'm pretty sure my car grew roots. Instead of "I was busy this weekend," say "My weekend was so packed, I'm convinced I accidentally traveled through time. I started Saturday morning and somehow ended up in next Tuesday." The psychological trigger here is that our brains are wired to remember unusual and vivid information. When you speak in exaggerations, you become the person whose stories people repeat to their friends. And that's pure social gold. Trick number 4. The confidence flip that charms everyone. When someone gives you a compliment, most people either awkwardly deflect it or accept it boringly. You're going to do something that's way more powerful. Let's say someone tells you, "Wow, you're really good at this presentation stuff." Instead of saying thanks or "Oh, it's nothing," here's what you do. You dramatically pause, look thoughtful, and say, "Well, I am pretty incredible at this," and immediately smile or laugh to show you're being playful. This technique is psychological genius because you're demonstrating confidence without coming across as arrogant. People see that you're secure enough to joke about your own abilities, which actually makes you more likable, not less. If someone says you've been working out, respond with, "Yeah, I'm basically in training for my superhero debut. The costume's being tailored as we speak." The key is that smile or laugh afterward. That signals you're being playfully confident, not genuinely conceited. Trick number 5. The compliment strategy that makes people addicted to you. Here's something most people get completely wrong about compliments. They think compliments are just nice things you say to be polite. But compliments are actually psychological weapons when you use them correctly. The rule is simple. If you think something genuinely nice about someone, say it immediately. Don't filter it. Don't second guess it. Just say it. Here's the brain science. When you give someone a genuine compliment, their brain releases serotonin, which is the happiness hormone. But here's the crucial part. They won't just remember the compliment. They'll remember how you made them feel. And they'll want to feel that way again. The key is being specific. Instead of "nice shirt," try "that color brings out your eyes in an amazing way." Instead of "good job," say "the way you handled that difficult question was really impressive." When you consistently make people feel valued and appreciated, they start craving your presence. You become the person who makes their day brighter, and that's incredibly powerful. Trick number 6. The listening technique that makes people obsessed. Here's a fundamental truth about human psychology. People's favorite subject is themselves. When you master the art of making people talk about themselves, they'll think you're the most fascinating person they've ever met. The secret is asking questions that make people feel important and interesting. Don't ask, "How's work?" Ask, "What's the most exciting project you're working on right now?" Don't ask, "How was your weekend?" Ask, "What was the highlight of your weekend?" Here's what happens in their brain. When people talk about themselves, they release dopamine, which is the pleasure chemical. They feel amazing, and they associate that incredible feeling with you. But here's the advanced technique. Use the "tell me more" approach. When they share something, respond with phrases like, "That sounds fascinating. What inspired you to try that approach?" Or, "Wow, that must have been challenging. How did you figure it out?" The result is magical. They'll walk away from the conversation thinking you're incredibly interesting and charismatic, even though they did 80% of the talking. Trick number 7. The curiosity hook that makes people hang on your every word. Boring people say, "I went to the grocery store today." Magnetic people say, "You will not believe what happened to me at the grocery store. I accidentally became a local hero." This is called the curiosity hook, and it works because curiosity is one of the strongest human drives. When you create a curiosity gap, people have to know what happens next. Here's the formula. Start with intrigue. Build a little tension, then deliver the payoff. For example, I learned something yesterday that completely changed how I see relationships. It came from the most unexpected place, and now I can't unsee it. Instead of saying work was stressful, try, "Something happened at work today that made me question everything I thought I knew about my boss. Turns out, I was completely wrong about him." The psychological trigger here is that unfinished stories create mental tension. People's brains literally can't let go until they get resolution. You become the person they can't stop listening to. Trick number 8. The story arsenal that makes you unforgettable. Charismatic people always have great stories ready to share. Not because they live more interesting lives, but because they know how to turn ordinary moments into captivating stories. Here's how to build your story arsenal. Think of moments in your life that were funny, surprising, or taught you something. Then structure them with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Add some humor or an unexpected twist to keep people engaged. For example, maybe you once got lost in a foreign country and accidentally ended up at someone's wedding. Start with the setup. "So I'm trying to find this restaurant in Rome." Build the tension. "I'm following these people who seem to know where they're going." Then the payoff. "Turns out I crashed a wedding and the bride's grandmother adopted me for the evening." Here's the brain science. Stories activate multiple areas of the brain simultaneously. They engage emotions, visuals, and logic all at once, making your words incredibly memorable and impactful. Practice telling your stories out loud until they feel natural. The confidence in your delivery is what transforms a good story into pure magnetism. Trick number 9. The confidence foundation that makes everything else work. Here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. You can learn every psychological trick in the world, but if you don't have this one thing, none of them will work. That thing is confidence. But here's what confidence really means. It's not believing you're perfect. It's being completely comfortable with being imperfect. It's not feeling fearless. It's acting fearless, even when you're terrified. The confidence mindset shift changes everything. Instead of walking into a room thinking, "I hope they like me," you think, "I'm curious to see what value I can bring to these people." Instead of "what if I mess up," you think, "whatever happens, I'll handle it." Your body language tells the complete story before you even speak. Stand tall, make eye contact, take up space. Don't fidget. Don't apologize for existing. Don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Here's the ultimate confidence secret. Confident people aren't confident because everything always goes perfectly. They're confident because they know they can handle whatever happens. That's real power, and people are magnetically drawn to it. These 9 psychological tricks aren't just techniques, they're your new superpowers. But here's the thing, knowing them isn't enough. You have to actually use them. Start with one trick this week, master it, then add another. In 30 days, you'll be the person everyone wants to talk to, be around, and remember long after you've left the room. The magnetic version of yourself is waiting. The only question is, are you ready to meet them? Try one of these tricks today and let me know in the comments what happened. And if you want more psychological secrets that will completely transform your social life, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Your transformation starts now.